The world you experience isn't a fixed reality. It's a mirror, quietly reflecting the state of your mind. Each thought you entertain becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. Feed your mind with fear, and the colors will darken. Feed it with clarity, gratitude, and compassion, and the whole picture shifts toward light. This isn't just poetic language, it's how the human mind works. The Buddha said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." These words are not meant to be admired from afar, but to be lived, breathed, and tested in the moments when life feels uncertain or heavy. Think about it. Two people can walk through the same storm. One feels only the cold, the chaos, and the struggle to stay dry. The other notices the beauty of the rain, the rhythm of drops hitting the earth, the way it cleanses the air. The storm is the same. The experience is different. The difference lives entirely in the mind. Your mind is not a passive recorder. It's the architect of your reality. Every choice you make about what to focus on, what to believe, and what to repeat to yourself shapes the life you see. The good news? You have the ability to train it. Like a garden, the mind grows whatever you plant, whether weeds of worry or seeds of wisdom. Today, we're going to explore 7 powerful lessons from Buddhist philosophy, distilled into practical steps you can use right now. These lessons are not about escaping life's challenges, but about meeting them with a mind so steady, so well-nourished, that even in the darkest moments, you can still see the good. Because peace doesn't come from controlling the storm, it comes from learning how to stand in the rain without losing your center. We're now arriving at the first part of today's video, breaking free from the trap of automatic reactions. One of the greatest obstacles to inner peace is not what's happening around us, but how we automatically react to it. These quick, unexamined responses are like reflexes, fast, unconscious, and often shaped by old habits, past wounds, or social conditioning. Without realizing it, we let these patterns drive our words, decisions, and even the tone of our relationships. Think of a time when someone's words triggered you. Maybe they didn't even mean to hurt you, but before you could think, your voice had already risen, your heartbeat quickened, and your mind started building a story of offense. That's the autopilot at work. It doesn't pause to ask, is this the best way to respond? It simply reacts as it always has. Buddhism teaches that true freedom begins the moment you interrupt that pattern, and the tool to do it is mindfulness. Mindfulness is like switching on a light in a dark room. It doesn't change what's in the room, but it allows you to see clearly before you stumble. When you are mindful, you create a small but powerful gap between stimulus and response. Here's the practice. The next time you feel a wave of anger, fear, or jealousy rising, simply name it in your mind. This is anger. This is fear. Don't judge it, don't push it away, and don't get swept away by it. Just acknowledge it like a passing cloud. That simple act of naming creates space, and in that space, you are no longer a prisoner of the emotion. You become its witness. From this place of awareness, you can choose your next step. Maybe you decide to speak calmly instead of shouting. Maybe you choose silence instead of sarcasm. Each conscious choice is a victory. It rewires your mind to respond from clarity rather than habit. It's important to remember that this is not about suppressing emotions. Emotions are natural. They are signals from your inner world. But reacting automatically often magnifies the suffering, both for you and for others. By pausing, observing, and choosing, you transform the energy of the emotion into something wiser and more constructive. Over time, you'll notice a shift. Situations that once made you explode will now feel like opportunities to practice steadiness. People may even comment, "You've changed. You're calmer." But what's really happening is that you've begun to take the steering wheel of your own mind instead of letting old programming drive your life. And that is where freedom begins, not when the world changes to please you, but when you stop letting the world dictate your inner state. Before we move on, remember this. Freeing yourself from automatic reactions isn't just about controlling how you respond. It's also about shaping what you allow to influence you in the first place. If your mind is a garden, the seeds you plant matter. And that brings us to the second part of today's journey, choosing what to let into your mind. In Buddhism, there is a beautiful teaching called guarding the sense doors. It means becoming aware of what you allow into your consciousness through your eyes, ears, speech, and environment. Everything you see, hear, or engage with becomes food for your mind. And just like the body reacts to the food you eat, the mind is shaped by the content you consume. If you constantly feed your mind with negative news, toxic conversations, or environments filled with gossip and drama, it's like pouring murky water into a clear pond. Over time, the clarity fades and agitation becomes the norm. You may not even notice the shift at first. It happens quietly, subtly, like dust settling on a mirror. But soon the mind reflects only noise and chaos. Now imagine the opposite. You surround yourself with uplifting influences, reading the Dharma, spending time with wise and compassionate friends, listening to teachings that bring clarity and calm. These are the nourishing waters that keep the pond clear. Over time, your mind becomes a place of peace and spaciousness, able to reflect beauty back to the world. One practical way to start is by creating mindful inputs in your daily routine. Instead of scrolling endlessly through social media in the morning, try listening to a short guided meditation. Instead of ending the day with sensationalist news, read a passage from a Buddhist text or an inspiring book. Even a few minutes in nature, watching leaves move in the wind, feeling sunlight on your skin, can reset your mental state more than hours of entertainment ever could. The key is not about cutting off the world completely, but choosing what serves your peace. This is not avoidance, it's discernment. Just as you wouldn't eat food that's clearly spoiled, you can learn to avoid mental food that poisons your inner space. Guarding the sense doors doesn't mean living in isolation. It means becoming a wise curator of your inner world. Every sound, sight, and word you allow in has the power to shape your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your life. So ask yourself today, what am I feeding my mind? Because your mind will grow whatever you plant in it, whether it's weeds of fear and doubt or blossoms of wisdom and compassion. The choice, as always, is yours. From what we let into our mind, we now arrive at a deeper truth. What we allow to stay in the mind becomes the seeds we plant in the soil of our life. This is the heart of the third part in today's journey. Thoughts, the seeds that shape your reality. In Buddhism, the power of thought is not just philosophy, it is the root of how we speak, act, and even set our intentions. Imagine your mind as a fertile garden. Each thought is a seed. Seeds of compassion, patience, and understanding will grow into a life of peace, harmony, and kindness. But plant seeds of anger, envy, and greed, and you will harvest a life filled with restlessness, conflict, and suffering. The challenge is, many of us are planting without awareness. Thoughts sprout constantly, shaped by past experiences, habits, and emotions we never stop to question. We forget that the mind soil will grow whatever we place into it, whether consciously or not. This is why Buddhist practice emphasizes mindfulness and meditation. They are tools to step back and truly see what seeds we are planting. Meditation is like walking slowly through your own garden, noticing which plants are flourishing and which weeds have taken root. Without judgment, you can choose which ones to nurture and which to pull out before they overtake the rest. One of the Buddha's most practical teachings is right thought, a part of the Noble Eightfold Path. It's not just about positive thinking, it's about aligning thoughts with wisdom and compassion. Right thought guides us to let go of harmful seeds like ill will or greed, and to cultivate seeds that lead to clarity, empathy, and resilience. Think about it. What you repeatedly dwell on becomes your mental climate. A person who constantly focuses on loss will live in a world full of absence. Someone who chooses to focus on gratitude will live in a world full of abundance, even if their external circumstances are modest. So today, as you move through your life, ask yourself, what seeds am I planting in my mind right now? Because the harvest is inevitable. And the sooner we plant with awareness, the sooner we live in a reality that reflects the peace we seek. From planting the right seeds in our mind, we now move to a practice that helps those seeds grow faster and stronger, seeing your goals as if they have already bloomed. This is the heart of the fourth part in today's journey. In Buddhist practice, visualization is not about wishful thinking. It is a powerful form of mind training. When we vividly picture ourselves already embodying the qualities we desire, patience, compassion, calmness, we send a clear message to the subconscious. This is who I am. The mind begins to align thoughts, feelings, and actions with that identity. Imagine you want to be more patient. Instead of waiting for life to test you, you close your eyes and see yourself in a challenging moment. Someone cuts in front of you in traffic, or a friend speaks harshly. But in your mental picture, you respond with a steady breath and a gentle smile. You feel the calm in your body, you notice the softness in your voice. This image plants a seed deep inside, so when a similar moment happens in real life, your reaction flows naturally from that inner training. Science supports this too. Studies show that visualization activates the same brain areas as actually performing the action. In other words, your brain can't fully tell the difference between something vividly imagined and something physically experienced. That's why athletes, musicians, and even surgeons use visualization to enhance performance. Buddhism has known this for centuries, calling it bhavana or mental cultivation. But this is not just about performance, it's about alignment, connecting your inner values with your outer actions. When you consistently see yourself as patient, compassionate, or resilient, those qualities stop being distant goals and start becoming part of your natural way of being. The key is detail. Don't just think, I want to be calm. Instead, picture the exact look in your eyes, the feeling in your chest, the way your hands rest. Let the scene be so vivid that your mind accepts it as truth. So as you listen now, ask yourself, if your goal were already real, how would you walk, speak, and think today? That's the image to carry into your meditation, your quiet moments, and your daily life. From the stillness of visualization, we now step into the heat of life's tests. This is the heart of the fifth part in today's journey, learning to see every challenge as a wise teacher. Buddhism reminds us that suffering is not a mistake in the design of life. It's part of it. Avoiding it may keep us comfortable in the short term, but it robs us of the deeper lessons that only difficulty can teach: patience, resilience, and the art of letting go. Think of a monk in training. He doesn't only meditate in a quiet temple, he walks into the chaos of a busy market, faces harsh words, or spends days in the wilderness. Not to punish himself, but to strengthen the mind, to learn how to remain steady when the world is unsteady. In this way, discomfort becomes a training ground. When life throws a challenge your way, a broken relationship, a financial setback, a health scare, you can ask, what is this here to teach me? That single question shifts you from victimhood to curiosity, from resistance to openness. Suddenly, the same event that could have been a source of bitterness becomes a source of wisdom. This perspective is not about denying pain. It's about holding pain in one hand and possibility in the other. Like polishing a stone, friction is what reveals its shine. And in the same way, trials reveal our deeper strength. So next time hardship knocks, don't rush to push it away. Sit with it, listen, let it speak. Because in its own strange way, it may be the very thing shaping you into the person you've always hoped to become. After learning how to see life's storms as part of our growth journey, we discover something else. A quiet key that keeps the heart steady in any circumstance. Gratitude. Gratitude isn't just saying thank you when things go well. It's the ability to recognize the value of what's already here, even when life isn't going our way. In Buddhism, gratitude is a form of practice that shifts the mind from lacking to enough. When we stop counting what we don't have and start seeing what is already present, a deep sense of contentment begins to spread through the heart. You can start with the smallest things. In the morning, instead of rushing to check your phone, take a deep breath and tell yourself, I'm grateful to wake up today. It could be the sunlight streaming through the window, the aroma of a warm cup of tea, or simply the comfort of a loving hug. These moments, seemingly ordinary, can become powerful sources of healing when we pause to truly notice them. The magic of gratitude shines brightest in hard times. When loss, illness, or failure arrives, our natural tendency is to focus on the pain. But if, in that moment, we can still find something to be grateful for, a friend who stays, a warm meal, or simply the breath still in our lungs, our hearts soften. We don't deny the pain, but we leave the door open for peace to enter. Try this simple habit. Every night before bed, write down 3 things you were grateful for that day. At first, you may think, I have nothing to write. But over time, your mind will learn to seek out the good, just like eyes growing accustomed to the light of dawn. And when your brain is trained to notice the positive, it naturally stops clinging so tightly to the negative. Like a garden, our mind blooms when watered with gratitude. The more we water it, the more flowers appear, and the less space there is for the weeds of negativity. You'll soon realize that true wealth is not in the possessions you hold, but in the ability to cherish and fully enjoy what you already have. So start today. Look around. You'll find at least one thing to be grateful for, and that may be the first step toward living a life of fullness, serenity, and peace, no matter how strong the winds may blow. We've explored gratitude as a quiet source of strength, but for that gratitude to take root and flourish, it needs a healthy foundation, self-compassion. For many of us, forgiving others comes easier than forgiving ourselves. A single mistake, a missed opportunity, or a personal failure can trigger days or even years of self-criticism. In Buddhist philosophy, this harsh inner voice doesn't make us stronger. It keeps us trapped in guilt and a sense of inadequacy. Self-compassion doesn't mean ignoring your flaws or refusing to grow. It means recognizing yourself as a human being in progress, someone learning, evolving, and doing their best. It's speaking to yourself as you would to a dear friend. I know you're trying. I'm here for you when you stumble. One powerful practice is metta meditation, loving kindness meditation. You start by sitting in stillness, breathing deeply, and silently sending yourself simple yet transformative wishes. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be strong. As your heart warms, you extend these wishes outward, to loved ones, to strangers, even to those who have caused you pain. Self-compassion also means forgiving yourself and releasing unrealistic expectations. Many of us carry heavy burdens from the past, holding ourselves to impossible standards. When you accept that imperfection is part of being human, your mind becomes lighter and more open to growth. Buddhism's teaching on anatta, non-self, reminds us we are not fixed beings. We are not permanently defined by our mistakes or past versions of ourselves. Change is always possible. Every moment offers the chance to choose again. And here's the beautiful truth. When you treat yourself with kindness, that compassion naturally flows to others. You become less judgmental, more patient, and more willing to meet people where they are. Cultivating self-compassion isn't weakness. It's the root of resilience. It creates an inner home where healing can happen and strength can grow. When you can truly love and forgive yourself, the world itself begins to feel a little softer. In the end, your mind is the soil, and every thought is a seed. The garden you walk through tomorrow will grow from what you plant today. You can choose to scatter seeds of fear, doubt, and resentment, or you can plant kindness, clarity, and love. The choice is always yours, moment by moment, breath by breath. Life will not always be gentle. Storms will come, and shadows will pass across your path. But even in the darkest seasons, a single seed of compassion can light the way forward. And when you feed your mind with what uplifts and heals, you not only transform your own life, you quietly inspire everyone who crosses your path. So let this be more than just another video you watch. Let it be a turning point. Starting today, guard your mind as you would guard your most precious treasure. Choose thoughts that build, words that heal, and actions that align with the peace you seek. Before you go, share one thing in the comments that you will start planting in your mental garden today. And if this message spoke to you, like this video, subscribe for more Buddhist wisdom, and join me in the next video as we go even deeper into the path of inner freedom.